Good morning and welcome to our next digital discovery webinar. My name is Matt Minner. I'm with Catalyst Connection, and today joining me on our session is Craig Waller from Rewyndr and Jason Kupak from Kobold. How are we doing today?
Good. Thanks,
Very
Matt.
good. Thank you.
Well, welcome. And today we're going to talk about how they were able to really fast track their productivity when it comes to on-the-job training and drastically cutting their training time from days to hours, which you can only imagine. We can't wait to hear really the full impact of that. So we look forward to hearing from you, Craig and Jason. As per usual, we will just do a quick run through on our Smart PA program that is making this digital discovery session possible today. Our Smart PA program is a Department of Energy funded initiative that started last year through the Smart Manufacturing Leadership Program. It's a statewide initiative, so fortunately it's not limited to Catalyst territory, but supports manufacturers across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And we do have a pretty broad team, largely our sister centers, the other industrial resource centers across Pennsylvania. So a total of 7 centers that cover every county in Pennsylvania, along with our trading partner, the Digital Foundry at New Kensington, who's going to be working and deploying a lot of their training resources that they have at their New Kensington location to other branch campuses, as they are a Penn State organization. You leveraging that the really wonderful Penn State Extension Campus network. We have a wide range of resources, not the least of which is our digital discovery sessions, but anywhere from free on-site technology opportunity assessments or free and low-cost technical assistance, and then on to some access to capital up to $5,000 from a mini grant standpoint that you can get. Just really identify a project that is in scope, which really just means it's helping you advance smart manufacturing at your organization. And that can be something that you could take advantage of. And then, as I alluded to previously, some no-cost training at Digital Foundry or one of their branch campuses. And while today we're going to talk about digitizing work instructions, and from a training standpoint, this really Smart PA is really technology across the board. So whether that's doing system integration among disparate systems that you have, where you have manual data entry or other handoffs that have to take place, digitizing, as we are talking today, digitizing work instructions, or even physical automation or cybersecurity, across the board, we're able to support your efforts in that space. And this was one I didn't get updated, but so today we are going to be excited for our fast tracking productivity talk. And our next sessions, there'll be more information coming up on those, so stay tuned. And as usual, you can always visit our YouTube playlist on the Catalyst Connection site to access all the previous sessions on demand. So with that, Craig, I will make you the presenter so we can get started to hear more of the Kobold story from you and Jason. And just one other thing to note for those on the line, please, with any questions, there's both the chat window or a questions window that you're able to post questions into. I'll be watching that, and we'll make sure we get your questions answered. So with that, I'll let you run with it, Craig.
Great. Thanks, Matt. Really appreciate the time. Jason, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, wanted to just encourage everyone today. We're looking to show some good results of what's possible with technology, especially operational technology. And really excited that Kobold has come on today to the call to talk about some of the impacts we were able to achieve at their factory. We do have different customers in different segments. And so today is really about, is there a fit? Is there something we're talking about and meeting maybe more customers with, or just inspiring some of the people to use digital technology to improve some of these areas that will identify as problems in the market that we're attacking in a unique way. But anyways, I'm Craig Waller, CEO and founder of Rewyndr. My contact information is here. I would love to hear from anyone on the call. If there's something we don't get to or would like to talk more, there's my contact information. Jason, we'll get to more slides later, but a quick intro for you.
Yeah, so I'm Jason Kupak. I'm the production manager at Kobold Instruments, Kobold USA. I'm just really excited. We've used Rewyndr for about a year now, and tremendously helped us as a company.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. We've enjoyed working together. It's been a good partnership. Really quick, we're going to go through an agenda over what the plan is for today. We heard about Smart PA, a few introductions. Here's our agenda for our meeting today. We will get caught up here, I'm sure. I want to talk a little bit about why we do what we do and what we're seeing in the market. Not everyone we've found is fully aware because they're busy producing products of what's coming in the market and what some of the external maybe constraints are in the market. A little bit of talking about how we do what we do and why we think that's important, but not too much. Really, it's important that we talk about how Kobold is producing incredible products, but also making better strides in some bottlenecks and problems they've had. So we'll talk about some of those use cases with Jason. We'll talk a little bit about some other use cases really quick and then have some Q&A. But again, our contact information is in that first slide, which is being recorded, and would love to follow up later if that makes sense. Okay, let's dive in. Our mission, we're very laser focused on your frontline worker. We really are all about that worker going home safe and successful. We really believe philosophically that Gen Z is actually capable and feels rewarded in certain unique ways, especially when they accomplish work and that work is good. The issue we find typically is that companies haven't been able to find a way to relate to or connect with or train well Gen Z. But when they're trained well, we've seen positive results like at Kobold. We are seeing some of the sharpest declines in productivity in the last few years since World War II. That's bad. That affects everyone's budgets. It affects their margins. And right now we're seeing record levels of reshoring, which is supposed to increase. The problem with that is that means we need more people to do jobs. People are feeling this. And the bigger problem beyond that is skills are disappearing. So there's a bigger fight for less skilled people, which creates quite a conundrum. Korn Ferry says this is an $8.5 trillion talent shortage in the next handful of years. If you're not addressing this right now, we would strongly recommend everyone on the call look heavily into this. It's coming. It's a big opportunity, but it's also a big risk. Where we find customers really interested in our platform is legacy know-how and equipment. These are valuable assets. They still work. They still produce revenue. And there's people who still know how to run them for now. The crisis coming is that they're retiring and they're leaving. We see this at our customers a lot. And when they do leave factories for whatever reason, we are seeing major issues with throughput and also safety becoming more of an issue. It's also true of new equipment. New equipment comes in for a production increase or some other benefit, but the OEM comes over, and this is still pretty traditional. Trains people. 3 months later, someone's standing around with a manual on second shift. They can't figure out why the saw blade they wrecked won't come out of the machine. So we work with customers on new equipment as well. And so generally speaking, we help industry by empowering their frontline workers to safely succeed with their equipment and critical processes more reliably, more rapidly, and in a way Gen Z can literally actually generatively associate with. So we enable the right jobs to get done the right way the first time, which is a real force multiplier on impact of your employees. And we do that with self-help interactive visuals, with expert information at their fingertips. It's kind of like visual ChatGPT, I suppose you could say. Answers are available and they can keep moving forward in their work. So we call that at a high level, digitizing the doing. We are taking people out of paper and very rapidly converting them into pictures based operational execution. This is something Gen Z really, really appreciates, and we are very focused on visuals. So one of the big areas, and we'll talk about this today with Kobold, is getting your know-how of unique assets and processes into a digital visual format really helps accelerate issues around capacity, accelerate issues around backlogs or new orders or increasing demand for your product, with potentially being able to hire less skilled people, but giving them better information to execute. The beautiful thing about operational technology, we like to use things like in my hand here, about an 8-inch tablet, if that works for your company. Because they have a tablet and they're using the tablet typically to do work or to train for the work or to do a pre-job brief, there are data feedback loops from that device, from the operational technology, very valuable data coming back to the company. Also, there's opportunities to monitor progress if the tablets are being used to do work, which we think is a very high use of the platform itself. We've had some industry experts say this has been the easiest on-ramp for Industry 4.0 digitization I've ever seen. We really focus on our 3 uniques: rapid, intuitive, and powerful. We are the edge of your tech stack. There's a lot of ERPs, you don't mess with them. MASs, they do what they do. We want to be the best how-to guide anyone has in the plant. And we do that by having a no-code, self-authored platform. Think basically about having paperwork instructions, and that's fine. We help people, number one, author these and create them into interactive pictures. They already exist in paper. Then we help them review those. We always find gaps between what the people know versus what's written down. So creating new visual processes, hopefully Jason can attest to this, you learn things from your people by recreating and redoing the process itself. We deploy that to customers so that we deploy that to employees to use, and we learn. There's a disconnect, we can document that, put that back into the photograph or information about the photograph. People implement, improve, and they accelerate their platform capabilities and their employee capabilities. And so it's low friction, rapid deployment and impact. And again, we really are focused on being on the edge of the tech stack, enabling and empowering employees to make good decisions at the moment they need to make a decision. A quick basic customer use case before we get into more of the specific applications and benefits of Kobold. We work with a training facility, and believe it or not, this 20-year-old who's trying to learn how to become a machinist has never learned from someone 60 years older than him in his life. But all of a sudden, he's faced with learning a dangerous and difficult job, and he has to try to adapt. He's doing his best, but it is not easy. He's learned for 20 years from a device how to do things, and now it's shifting. It will take it takes a while for them to try to shift their learning. This has been going on for thousands, millions of years. Humans showing humans how to do something, hoping they can remember. Our customer Neil said, "Craig, give me that tablet. That was too easy. I need to make a process. No one is reading my clipboard." I don't know if any of you in the call have had that frustration, but Neil immediately realized if we could turn his facility into pictures so that all these students could get reinforced learning and or in the moment decision-making information, Neil would know that everyone read his clipboard via the tablet. Very helpful to him and relieve some real frustration. We do see our applications spread. Hello?
Yeah, I want to pop in because we saw Neil there with the tablet. I did have a question come in here just related to the use of the tablet. Obviously, Neil's in his office garb, but if you think of a lot of workers that may be wearing gloves, have you had any challenges with wearing hand protection with gloves and getting compatible devices, or how have you handled that piece?
That's a great question. And some customers who must wear various protective gear use this as a pre-job brief. They literally use it the moment before someone goes into work to do a job with all of the updates in front of them, so they know what the details or demands or dynamic changes the job will be that day, and they may not use it actually at their workstation. So the software is flexible, and this is kind of a bit of the next slide. We see customers primarily using it in training, or they bring it to the factory floor, or they send it over to maintenance, or it ends up in operations, ends up in shipping and receiving, it ends up in factory acceptance testing. You see the product make its way into various parts of the plant and operations. The reason we see that is the high level of usability and the high level of rapid intuitive interaction. And so our goal really is to allow the customer to make process wherever they need process. They see gaps, they see an aging workforce issue. And right now I'd love to talk a little bit more too about Kobold and how Kobold did this for themselves. And Jason, please, tell us a bit about Kobold here. I'll flip through the slides for you, and we'll get to some use cases here. I have a timestamp in the lower left side there, Jason, to keep us moving forward.
Sure, absolutely. Before I do that, I did want to go back to that glove thing.
Yes.
We actually have one area in our building that does require gloves to be used. We actually just printed that step off of Rewyndr and attached it right to that area. So that's also a possibility to do with it as well. So
yeah, go back to the old paper format now that we have a digital format.
Exactly. Just for one step though, the rest of the process is all digitized. So
cool.
My name is Jason, like I said, production manager at Kobold. I've been here for roughly 3 years now. Kobold USA was established in 1989, located in Pittsburgh. We serve all of the Americas, basically, US, Canada, Mexico, Caribbean, Central America, South America. So we manufacture and produce and service all of Kobold products to the Americas. We're a German-based company that, just gets most of our stuff from Germany, manufactures it here, and really just stands behind our quality when we send something out. About a couple months after I started, I realized that we had a genuine knowledge gap. Our GM and I discussed the genuine knowledge gap that we have from our 16-year employees to our 2-year employees, and that wasn't documented anywhere, which we chose to be a really, really big challenge for our company if we were going to grow. So we partnered with Craig and Rewyndr, and here we are today. So, Craig, you want me to keep going on this, or?
Absolutely. No, I'd love to. Jason's up to you. I can go through these slides. Happy to have you go through the slides as well, whatever you feel is best.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
can you
like
share
I
the
said,
slides real quick? Are they coming up for you?
Yep, absolutely.
Cool.
So like I said, Thomas, the GM, and I just really realized that we're not going to grow if we lose 1 or 2 people off of our team. And we have some long-term people that have been here since 1989. And if they leave, their knowledge is just in their head, and we're going to struggle for it. Sure, we have all sorts of resources to reach overseas to Germany and get it, but that's not always easy with the time zones. So we partnered out with Craig, and he came in, showed us this, and we fell in love with it, to be honest with you. And we're using it, I think, really how it's designed to be used. We're using it as a step to prevent any issues going forward. We build and maintenance roughly 330 different items out of our building here in Pittsburgh. And, that's probably 50, 60 different products lines that we have 27 of them currently in Rewyndr that anyone in our building can build. That's the ease of the platform and how detailed it is. So, and currently our new initiative is to cross-train our entire production team. So everyone is building everything, and we're reducing our lead time by weeks, not days.
It's a great quote that you gave us, Jason. Rewyndr has given us the ability to take years, decades maybe of knowledge, and document it in a very simple way, but highly effective way for all to use. I like that quote a lot.
Yeah, it is very simple to use, and we fell in love with it. So, yeah, so
the outcome there I thought was really great too, on the reduction of back orders from a loss of some employees.
yeah, so last year, really early into our Rewyndr days, to be honest with you, we had an employee quit. I only have 5 people in my production team, and that's 20% of my team that just left, and all of their knowledge left with them. The good news is that we had started to document some of the things that we were building. We actually took Rewyndr, our tablets, back to our machine shop, and our machine shop who was a little bit slower, luckily that week, was able to use Rewyndr, build everything that person that quit would have built in a quicker time frame, more detailed, past quality inspection. We sent them out, reducing late orders from 13 to 3 within a week, I think. So it was quite incredible results early in our time with Rewyndr.
And then you had to hire a new person, right? This is the second business case example we were going to bring up.
Yeah, so we had to replace the person that quit. Did our interviews, and typically in the past, to replace someone here, it took one experienced builder, one experienced production assembler to job shadow the new person. Really, we lose 2 people in our production and our assembly by doing it that way. With Rewyndr, we were able to get the new person acclimated. By lunch of their first day, they were building stuff on their own and shipping it out with products that were in Rewyndr, with a 0% return rate on anything that shipped out that he built.
It's really exciting to hear about customers have these kinds of successes. We had interacted a bit with the new hire who came from a regional manufacturer that was a build-to-print manufacturer that's been going on for decades or maybe longer. That's a very traditional way that's being done today. But we also, I think, realized with Kobold that Gen Z doesn't really adapt well to ways of the old days. And some do and some don't. But for those who don't, they're actually very capable people. If you can relate to them a bit on their terms, the platform like Rewyndr. I sometimes joke how many of your new hires do you hand a slide rule to? And they're like, oh, we don't do that. I'm like, well, maybe you shouldn't give them a piece of paper to work from either. It's a little different. The impact was really cool. Ethan, I think, Jason gave us this great quote. Rewyndr made it easy to jump right into a job and hit the ground running. He felt empowered. And that's our whole goal of the platform, to empower that frontline worker so he feels safe and successful in doing his job. And with the visual learning, it was kind of funny. He said, we were the bee's knees in production industry. And I think that's just coming from his former experience of working from paper and prints to interactive visuals. I really felt empowered and got a lot of work done fast. We tried to quantify the impact with Jason and his team. I think we did a pretty good job, and we came down to roughly a $16,000 impact for that one new hire, which was really encouraging to us and encouraging to Kobold as well, because we've seen things like this at other places, but we're able to get to a pretty good number between the two of us that we could publish. And so thanks, Jason, for letting us publish that, because those impacts are real and they're meaningful. And I think this was 3-4 months of training and learning and getting enough product on the platform to where you felt like you could give it to someone and they could do good work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Anything else? I'll move into some other slides here and keep us on time here.
Nope. Again, same thing. I'm more than happy to answer any questions, and my contact information is also up there.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, Craig.
So we are excited to help them without any really expensive hardware, no engineers or process designers involved, just getting things done in a lightweight way at the edge of the tech stack, in a way that doesn't burden IT. It doesn't burden a lot of departments. We really are wanting customers and companies to self-help on the edge of getting things done.
Craig, may I add just one additional point?
Yes, please.
Our frontline users are the ones that are building these job instructions. Our two most experienced builders are the ones that are actually writing these job instructions. So it's not me writing things that they won't understand. It's actually them writing the information and the instructions that they know and they have learned how to do. So I'm sorry, Craig, I forgot to bring that up.
That's fantastic. We believe that the experts of the process should have a lot to say in what they're actually doing out on the factory floor. Not that an engineer can't hone it or fix it or make it more safe, but what they're actually doing to get that product out the door is probably something I think companies should start with as a place of origin for some of these processes to be able to help someone else do them well the same way. Thanks, Jason. A lot of companies aren't necessarily paying close attention to cost of turnover. We ran a study with a company that has 20 employees in their factory, came out with a $2.5 million cost of turnover benefit over the next 3 years. They had higher turnover than this, but really, if you look at cost of turnover, the areas that are included in that are screening time, training costs, productivity losses, opportunity costs. 77% of this is voluntarily, the voluntary part is preventable. Skills development, if you give them that, they'll stay. New skills, learn, they'll stay. A clear understanding of what they actually are being asked to do, ability to contribute ideas for improvement. Rewyndr can help with those things. And it's like $2 million savings if you prevent 77% of that. Another customer used this in a repair and maintenance operation out of the gate. Supervisors saw it and said, we need second shift to use this. They keep wrecking the equipment. We got second shift figured out really quick while repair and maintenance was still building their processes. And wouldn't you know, the supervisor expanded to another work center. We love that. We start with groups of about 15 to 20 users on 1 or 2 work cells. We let the software grow from there. It is not an enterprise sale. We want to make value, build an ROI with the customer early, let the customer expand. And when you know, other plants said we need that tool as well. Within just a few months, we saw them digitize 55 procedures, get 600 some executions, and get a $90,000 savings in process making, which was great. I asked them, how's it working for you now actually as a tool for learning? They said, well, it takes about 12 months to train people here, and now it's 4 to 7 weeks. You do the math, you look backwards, this is the new training curve. That productivity gain for them was huge. It's about a $40,000 benefit per employee, per machine that they'll learn how to use. The productivity gains are phenomenal when you make the doing knowable and easily understood. We're at Q&A. We have about 1 minute left, but curious about workers that keep you up at night if lost. We heard this from a factory in the Gulf Coast of Texas who said, I don't sleep at night. When the second shift manager is running this place, I will use that tablet tomorrow. And so we've heard this from the customers as well. Are you measuring cost of turnover? I'd love to have a question or two. I know we can, our contact information is on the front page. Glad to answer any questions live in person. We'll come visit your site. But yeah, I would love to hear anything, question you have about rapid, intuitive, and powerful visual work instructions at the edge.
Excellent, excellent. No, thank you both, Craig and Jason. That was great information. Really great to hear the results that you've seen, Jason, at Kobold. It's definitely very impressive. And just a reminder to everyone, if you do have a question, and we already got some through the questions panel or in the chat, feel free to post them up there, and we'll talk through those. One that we have, maybe Jason, can you give a little more context on the process that your frontline folks are using, or how to load the products into the platform, and like how complex are your assembly processes, to give an idea of, okay, this is what the whole process looks like. And how long does that take then to load into Rewyndr? Like, they're able to do this kind of in their off time or spare time, or when they're a little slower, or how is this all working for you?
So we currently, we don't really have anything. We're not a assembly line production. We're a one-piece production manufacturer. So we've chosen to, as they get an order, as they get a build, a unique build, they will actually take the time. It takes them a little bit longer to build the product itself, but they'll actually put it into Rewyndr as they're building it. The process of building a process in Rewyndr is time consuming, yes, but super simple. It's a matter of typing down what instructions you want, taking a picture of that instruction and hitting next. It's not complicated at all. And then you have options of tagging, circling, doing other things. So that's the way we chose to do it. We could have built a ton of things and just put them in Rewyndr as we were doing those, but we chose to do it on the job, more or less.
That's excellent. No, then that makes a lot of sense to just, do it live, so to speak. And then let's see, one more. Yeah, how about the user experience? Obviously, I forget was it Ethan? I think it was the worker on the line, who he obviously seemed to be pretty happy. And although Millennium, he definitely went back in time for his reference on the bee's knees. So
I
appreciate that. The irony is not lost on me. But that's excellent. How the user experience, I mean, is this, as I recall, I think sometimes there's some two-way communication. So obviously there's those that put it together, but then say some of their colleague is using it and they're like, hey, I don't get this. Is there an easy way for them to kind of like put an essay, hey, this didn't make any sense, or we need to improve this, or so you can have that continuous improvement built in?
Yes, absolutely. So we're a one shift manufacturer. So literally he just says, hey, this doesn't make sense to me in the room. However, multiple shifts, multiple people, time frames, there's a notes button. You can hit add note or add comment, and it flags on the builder side of that says, hey, we didn't understand this, or this needs better detail or more explanation. So yeah, that would pop up, and the next time the builder logs into it, they just see that there's comments and notes.
Well, very good, very good. Well, I think that wraps up the session. But again, reminder for everyone, if you'd like to take a closer look at this recording will be up here probably later today. And so we'll share that link out with all the registrants, and it will be posted on the Catalyst YouTube page, and we'll have links on our event site and all sorts of ways to access it, as well as through the Smart PA website. So just want to thank you both again for taking the time and sharing with us about your experience, Jason, and the exciting product you have with Rewyndr, Craig, and look forward to future opportunities to hear how things progress, or talk with the next folks that make some improvements in their on-the-job training.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you all, and everyone have a great afternoon, or rest of the morning and then an afternoon. How about that?
Yes.
Take care.
Thank you.